first kind of essay that we're going to work on in this class is the personal narrative. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a story from your personal life. So you might decide that you want to write about the first time you ever drove a car, or a particular class that you take. Maybe the first time you went into your new ballet class, having never been a dance student before. Maybe performing in a play. What was opening night like? These are the kinds of things you could relate to us. Something funny that happened in your family. It can be a very short experience, or like I said, it could be a vacation that you took. So it could be a week-long experience that you're writing about. Whatever you choose, you will have an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. And that's going to be true, like I said, of every essay we write. Now, while you're trying to think of a topic, there are two things you might want to do, and those are free writing and clustering. And those are just ways of brainstorming. Some people like listing. Just take out a piece of paper and list everything you could possibly write about until something comes to mind. Free writing is similar. It is just writing in complete sentences. What do I want to write about? I don't know. And you just keep going until something comes to mind. And then clustering is when you begin to, you might say, personal narrative, because you know you need to come up with a topic for it, right? And then you start to cluster from there. You say, I could write about my vacation. I could write about fencing class. You could write about baseball. I could write about my family. And then you say, oh, you know what? Fencing, there was that tournament. I could write about that tournament. I could write about how I won for a medal, or how I lost every bout. So you see, you start to cluster, and then when you start to get something that has many branches, that seems like a rich topic, and that might be what you go with. So these are some ideas for coming up with ideas, and you'll want to check the Generating Essay Ideas folder on the Edmodo site, because I will put some resources in there to help you come up with a topic to write this narrative. But back to the structure. Like I said, it's going to have an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. The conclusion, no matter how you structure your personal narrative, essentially the conclusion is always going to come down to, why is this story important? You might conclude with what you learned from this experience, how it changed you, woo! But whatever you do, you're going to give us some indication of why it matters. And that's what the conclusion will do, no matter how you structure it. And when I say no matter how you structure it, you can see I'm getting to the idea that there are some different options here. You can go chronologically through your essay. You can begin at a particular point in time and end when the story is over. And if you do that, then you're basically going to introduce the story, give us the details of the story and how it ended, and then why it's important, what's significant about it. And chronologically organizing your essay, that's going to be the most straightforward method. So if you're feeling at all inexperienced or overwhelmed, go with the straight linear story. Where did it start? Where did it end? What did it mean? And then you'll be done. Another option, though, if you feel like trying to shake it up a little, is instead of starting at the beginning, which is really where people say you always should start, sometimes it's fun to start in the middle. So you can begin in the middle, then go back, explain to us how you got there and how it ended, and then why it's important. This is a favorite technique of a TV show. Lots of TV shows, movies do this too, where they start with something crazy happening and you're like, oh my God, what? Last week they were in Philadelphia and now he's in the middle of the desert? How'd this happen? And then you have this crazy sequence and then it says 3 days later, or I'm sorry, 3 days earlier, and you realize, oh, okay, they're gonna tell us how we got here. So they start in the middle to get you excited, then they go back, explain how we got to this point, and then finish it up. And you can do that too. Again, though, when you finish the actual story, the concluding paragraph is going to include why is it important, what did you learn, how did it change you, why is it significant, something, to wrap it all up at the end. The third option is to start actually at the end. And that's a little crazy, but you can do that. And one example of someone doing that would be to start right off with the day I learned to ski. So we all know, oh, it's going to be a story about learning to ski. So that's starting at the end. And both of these, beginning in the middle and starting at the end, are kind of fun. They create a little suspense because you already know where you're going, but you have to figure out how you got there. So that's kind of fun when you do something like that. When I say starting at the end, this first part, it might be just a sentence or two. The day I learned to ski was the most important day of my life, even though I almost lost my life. Even though I almost lost it. Starting at the end. So then we know, ooh, it's going to be an exciting story about when he learned to ski and he almost died. So that's your third option. Again, I encourage chronological. If this is one of the first essays you've ever written, it will be easier. But I will also say that, as I said before, the pieces of an essay are like Lego blocks, and you can write paragraphs and then take them. I mean, if you're writing on a piece of paper or on your computer, you just copy and paste and move whole sections to where you would prefer that they go. And you can do that. You can always play with the order of an essay when you have finished it. So, 3 options for how to organize, and this also will be on the Edmodo website in one of your essay folders. So take a look at that, and I wish you good luck in constructing a personal narrative this week. Check out the assignment to see exactly what it is that I'm asking you to do. And if you have questions, post them on the website, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, thank you. Take care.